The winter has been so long and dark, I needed something to do. So I took a look around the house, found these materials, and put together this mason jar terrarium. It literally only took 10 minutes, and I love the way it turned out. If you want to see how I did it, join me. All right, this is, I think, a 1-quart jar. And I'm gonna start by using crushed pumice. Let me see if I can get it in frame. Crushed pumice for a bottom layer. I'm just using a spoon. You can use pumice like this, or they have recycled glass that looks like stones, and they're generally a little bit bigger. Crushed pumice you can get in lots of different sizes. I use this in a lot of my soil mixes, so I like it to be smaller sized. It's not as pretty at the bottom, I don't think, but I don't have it there just to be pretty. I'm also going to use this for drainage because I don't have drainage. So this will take any excess moisture down away from the soil if there is excess moisture inside, and it will also breathe that moisture back up in. And as it does it, it also keeps the root zone, it keeps a little bit more oxygen there. So next up is going to be some sphagnum moss. Again, I have this in a big, like a brick. I'm gonna have to move this out of the way to show you. There you go. Because again, I use it in some of my soil mixes. So you can also get some that is like dyed, but I'd rather not have that in my little terrarium. So I'm just gonna put it in piece by piece. And then I have these tweezer-like things, which are actually terrarium tools. And I'll use that to move each piece to generally where I want it to go. And sometimes this just requires a little bit of patience. So now I have a layer of pumice, a layer of sphagnum moss, and that will get much flatter when I add soil on top of it. And that also gives it kind of that layered terrarium look, because when I add the soil, it'll keep most of the soil from coming down in here and starting to look not as cute. This is a mix that I use for a lot of my house plants. It just has perlite. I start with a house plant soil mix, but of course there's not really any soil in it. It has some charcoal, activated charcoal pieces. That's the black piece in there. And it has pieces of orchid bark as well. So much for it looking layered. Soil went right through some of my sphagnum moss and is spattered down here in the pumice, but oh well. It really isn't there just to look cute. It has a very important purpose, so I'm not gonna fuss about it. Next up, pretty pink syngonium going in. So I just need to carve a hole in the center. And pull this little thing out. We've got some good roots. Go in here. I'm gonna pull most of the soil off. And down she goes. going to use this little tool and move the soil down around her roots. And I'm going to keep adding some soil here too. Here is a brush. This actually came with my terrarium tools, but you can just use a paintbrush if you don't have something like that. Watering my terrarium is going to be pretty easy. I'm going to use a syringe, but if you do one, you could also use one of those smaller houseplant watering cans that has kind of a longer spout. Either one would work, I think, really well. And then, of course, if I want this to be like a true terrarium, I could put on a lid, but I think for now I'm going to try leaving it open and see if I can maintain some humidity even with the air breathing out. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic week. I'll see you soon.